Tennessee knows their tackles are Lance Hurd and true freshman David Sanders. At the start of spring, we thought it would be Wendell Moy and Sam Pendleton, who they brought in as a transfer, and then William Satterwhite at center. So far, Pendleton has been getting mixed in at center, but it's pretty much been Satterwhite at center and Moy at guard, and then Jesse Perry at right guard, who you guys did on the digital network and other tees. You guys did our spring football show, and Jesse Perry was a guy you talked about. You heard good things all spring. Yep. In terms of what you're seeing and hearing, are you surprised at all that you haven't had more of Pendleton out there in terms of the starting five? I mean, they're rotating him in, but if you're just going by the same starting five every day, he's not in there, and you spent money and you brought him in from Notre Dame.
Yeah, now I do think it's a legitimate competition between Satterwhite and Pendleton. I think you're searching a little bit at center, trying to figure out what's our best five, and that's the position that to me is most concerning right now. But overall, it lines up with what we've heard throughout the offseason, which is Jesse Perry's played well. Mm-hmm. There's some questions still about Sam Pendleton, and there's some questions about William Satterwhite. So how does that all fit together? What's your best combination? You got to figure that out, and the scrimmages will help with that for sure. But the fact that it's still an open question tells you there's still some uncertainty there, and you've not found what you're convinced is your best five. But you got three of those spots locked in. That's a good start.
All right, and again, observations, and this can be. I want to know what kind of things you saw yesterday. Mm-hmm. Again, we're not giving away state secrets. I wouldn't ask you guys to do that. You wouldn't do that. But what you saw yesterday, just observations, what looked good, what didn't look good, anybody that had a good day, bad day, that kind of thing. But then also what you're hearing from you guys talk to people. So thoughts on the offensive line. Ollie, you played it.
Yeah, I mean, I can go ahead and tell you right now, from where I saw them at that spring game to where they're at now, I mean, the size difference is just immaculate. I mean, these guys have put on size. I mean, even just to single out one guy, Jesse Perry, I mean, a guy last year did not look the part of being an SEC offensive lineman. I mean, he came from a very similar high school scheme that I did, triple option, got to be athletic, run around. He has put on the weight, and it's good weight. It's not just like they sent him down to McDonald's and said, let's start packing in the McNuggets. No, it's good weight. He looks good, and that's all across the board on that offensive line. I mean, everybody looks like they built good body masses, which is exactly what we want. I mean, when I played, I was more on the opposite end. I was big, but I was big for the wrong reasons, not the right reasons. But these guys, they look like they can move well. And, I mean, watching them yesterday, them going against our defensive line, which I put our defensive line against any other defensive line in the country, they were holding their own. They were making things happen for whichever quarterback was back there, and that's what I was impressed in. I mean, obviously, in practice, you're going to have some missed assignments, MAs, stuff like that. It happens throughout the practice because you're learning. However, I saw them put in good effort to make things happen in a practice setting that is very positive to me.
Daniel, your observations?
I saw it almost the complete opposite of what all I saw.
Good.
And like when I was looking at this team as a whole, like the defensive line right now, and we'll talk about them later, but they've got too deep. Your offensive line, you have a solid middle of the SEC top five guys. The one guy I liked the most, at least in pass rush, was Moy. Dude, when he gets his grip on, it's as strong as Trey Smith. It's as strong as a guy I played with, Zach Fulton. Like, he's great. Mm-hmm. He only gave up one sack at Arizona. I think he's going to be a staple for the pass game. But the rest of those guys, like Lance Hurd did really well. The new right tackle did really well. But as Ryan was talking about, you get to the second-team center in SEC play, if something happens to the starter, oh, man, it's going to be rough. And, like, I look at the entire team overall, offensive line seems to have the least amount of depth in terms of quality SEC talent with the size, speed, and height. And, like, at year 5, I thought we wouldn't be talking about offensive line again, like we are. Defensive line depth is incredible.
The interesting thing is, and you said something like that earlier, where it's his 5th year, it's going to be the most talented. I'm not trying to make excuses. I just don't know that those kind of things apply anymore. In the transfer portal, because you can lose anybody. Would their depth look better if Larry Johnson hadn't left after spring? Yeah, you'd have better depth. Mm-hmm. I mean, would your receiver core look better if you hadn't had 5 guys hit the portal? Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I just don't even know. I don't even know if that applies. That's one reason when people look at it and say, "Well, you're 49% freshman and true freshman. Man, the future's bright." Is it? I don't know how many of those guys are going to be here as sophomores.
And I may be wrong, right? This may be a new game of college football that you only get a starting 5 because everyone's transferring and doing all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I was just like, I remember what James Craig, what Harry Heastand built as offensive lines at Tennessee, and the depth that he was able to have, 7 and 8 deep of guys that were rolling in. and we're not there. But I think our starting five really solid. You give them 6 games, 7 games in the SEC, you're going to have a really good offensive line.
See, I see some young talent. Jeremiah's Hurd looks like a first guy off the bus
You got to
candidate.
give me numbers because
Yes, 51,
Yeah.
68. Bennett
Yeah.
Warren, another good size tackle. They've
Yeah.
got some guys. They're coming along. They're just not ready. So to his point, I think they're probably 8 deep or so in guys they really trust this year. But they got to zero in on that starting 5, and you got to start getting some continuity in there
I
too.
would say that's generous. There were 5 to 6 guys. I was like, I would trust them to protect the quarterback, and
There you go.
yeah.
How much did you watch the center position yesterday?
Yeah, I mean,
and
I
the
watched
exchanges and everything.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw from the center position, I mean, obviously,
because that was a struggle in the spring.
yeah, for sure. I think the snaps have gotten a lot better from where they were in the spring. Now, that's not to say they're perfect. I mean, snaps are never going to be 100% perfect every single rep because you've taken a ton of reps in practice. But from what I saw, consistently hitting the right spot. I mean, were some over here, over there, yes, but they were still in catchable positions. I mean, obviously, I got used to having the 6'7" quarterback that it didn't matter where I put it, he was getting it. But these guys, they seem to have taken that and at least made it less of a concern for the center position so far.
Okay.
I watched them a lot in practice, and anytime you're going through this fall camp, you're going to have balls lay on the ground, go out of the back of the end zone, over the quarterback's head. Until you get to week 2 or 3, that's when you can really evaluate that.
Very good.
They're on pace with where they need to be.